Did you know that Burundi, a small landlocked country in East Africa, has a history stretching back over 10,000 years? Our story begins with the earliest known inhabitants of Burundi, the TWA people. These hunter-gatherers, part of the larger group known as Pygmies, were the first to leave their footprints on this land. They lived peacefully, in harmony with nature, hunting game, and foraging for their sustenance. But as it is with all tales of human civilization, change was on the horizon. Over the centuries, waves of migration brought new faces to this region. The Hutus, known for their farming techniques, were the first to arrive. They brought with them the seeds of agriculture, turning the fertile lands of Burundi into a patchwork quilt of farms and fields. In the wake of the Hutus came the Tutsis, cattle herders who would eventually rise to dominate the political and social landscape. The Tutsis established a monarchy, with a Tutsi Mwami, or king at the helm, ruling over both Tutsis and Hutus. This system of governance, though not without its conflicts, fundamentally shaped the region's culture and political structure. Yet despite the arrival of these new groups, the TWA people remained. They adapted, they endured. Today they represent a link to Burundi's distant past, a testament to the nation's rich and diverse heritage. Over the millennia, these three groups, the TWA, the Hutus, and the Tutsis, have coexisted, their lives interwoven in a complex tapestry of human civilization. Each group has left its own indelible mark on the country, contributing to the unique cultural mosaic that is Burundi today. So, as we delve deeper into the history of this fascinating country, remember this: Burundi is not just a small country in East Africa. It's a land of ancient civilizations, of migrations and cultural exchanges, of people who have shaped and been shaped by the world around them. Despite its small size, Burundi's early history is a rich tapestry of human civilization and migration. Fast forward to the 16th century, and we find Burundi under a monarchy with a king known as the Mwami at the helm. The Mwami, a title meaning ruler or leader, was not just a king, but a deity-like figure, believed to hold divine power. This was a time when the Mwamis ruled with an iron fist, their authority absolute and their word, law. Now, let's delve a bit into the political structure under the Mwamis. The Mwamis' court was a complex hierarchy of royal family members, nobles, and officials, each with their distinct role and duties. The Mwami himself was at the top, followed by his mother, who held significant power as the Queen Mother. Below them were the chiefs, responsible for various provinces under the kingdom. Throughout history, there were many Mwamis that left a mark. One of the most significant was Mwami Mwezi IV Gisabo, who reigned for an impressive 67 years in the 19th century. His rule was marked by a struggle for power and a series of rebellions, reflecting the tumultuous nature of this era. Internal conflicts were a hallmark of the Mwami's reign. Power dynamics within the royal court often led to bloody battles and political upheavals. The Mwami's power was not uncontested, and rival factions within the court were a constant threat to his rule. These internal conflicts, coupled with external pressures from neighboring kingdoms, made this a volatile era in Burundi's history. The Mwami's reign was not just about power struggles and conflicts, though. They also fostered a sense of unity and identity among the people of Burundi. The Mwami's rule helped shape Burundi's cultural and social fabric, establishing traditions and customs that are still prevalent today. So as we journey through Burundi's rich history, the era of the Mwamis stands out as a significant chapter. It was a time of absolute monarchies, fraught with power dynamics and internal conflicts, but it was also a time that helped shape Burundi into what it is today. The era of Mwamis was an era of power, politics, and sometimes turmoil. The late 19th century brought with it winds of change as European powers set their sights on Africa, including the Kingdom of Burundi. As the world's powers scrambled for Africa, Burundi, like many other African nations, found itself in the firm grasp of colonial rule, first under Germany and then Belgium. The impact of this era on the country's political, social, and economic structures was profound and lasting. In the late 1890s, Germany, through a series of treaties and negotiations, established its authority over Burundi. The German colonial administration, however, largely respected the authority of the Burundian monarchy, making it a protectorate within German East Africa. The First World War, however, would bring a shift in the colonial power dynamics. Defeated and stripped of its colonies, Germany handed over control of Burundi to Belgium. The Belgians, unlike their German predecessors, implemented a more direct and intensive form of colonial rule. Belgium brought with it a socio-political restructuring that significantly altered Burundi's societal fabric. They introduced a policy of indirect rule, exacerbating ethnic tensions between the Hutu and Tutsi populations. This policy would later fuel the ethnic strife that marred Burundi's post-independence years. The economic structure was also transformed. The Belgians introduced cash crops such as coffee and cotton, shifting the focus from subsistence farming. This move had a profound impact on the economy, making it heavily dependent on these exports. Despite the heavy hand of colonial rule, Burundi was not without resistance. The people of Burundi, led by their monarchy and local chiefs, staged a series of rebellions against both German and Belgian rule. Unfortunately, these revolts were often met with swift and brutal retaliation, further deepening the scars of colonialism. Colonization was not a benign chapter in Burundi's history. It brought about major shifts in power dynamics, economic structures, and social relations, laying the groundwork for many of the challenges that Burundi would face in the years to come. Colonization left an indelible mark on Burundi, shaping its future in ways that are still evident today. As the winds of decolonization swept across Africa in the mid-20th century, Burundi was not left behind. It was during this period that the country embarked on a journey towards independence, a journey filled with struggles, sacrifices, and an unwavering resolve. In the late 1950s, the call for independence began to gain momentum in Burundi. It was a period of political awakening, with many Burundians yearning for self-rule after decades of colonial domination. But the road to independence wasn't an easy path. It was fraught with numerous challenges, including internal strife, external pressure, and the burden of colonial legacies. Key figures emerged during this struggle, their voices echoing the collective aspirations of the Burundian people. One such figure was Prince Louis Rwagasore, a charismatic leader who championed the cause of national unity and independence. As the leader of the UPRONA party, Rwagasore played a pivotal role in mobilizing the masses and advocating for the end of Belgian rule. The struggle was arduous, but the spirit of the Burundian people remained unbroken. Their determination culminated in the historic year of 1962, when Burundi finally achieved its independence on July 1st. The Belgian flag was lowered, and in its place, the Burundian flag was hoisted, marking a new chapter in the nation's history. But independence was not the end of the journey. The early years of independence were marked by a series of challenges. The country grappled with the task of nation building, establishing political stability, and overcoming economic hurdles. The transition from a colonial state to an independent nation was a complex process, requiring strategic planning, careful execution, and the collective effort of all Burundians. Yet despite these challenges, Burundi pressed on. It was a testament to the resilience and tenacity of the Burundian people, who remained steadfast in their quest for a sovereign nation. Their journey serves as a powerful reminder of the courage it takes to fight for freedom and the enduring spirit of a people determined to shape their own destiny. Independence brought a new dawn for Burundi, but it was not without its share of challenges. The road to independence was a journey of hope, struggle, and transformation, a journey that continues to shape the course of Burundi's history. In the years since independence, Burundi has faced a complex journey of growth, conflict, and resilience. The post-independence era for Burundi was a tumultuous one, marked by a civil war that erupted in the early 90s. The roots of this conflict lay in the deep-seated ethnic tensions between the Hutu and Tutsi communities, tensions that had been simmering for centuries. This brutal conflict persisted for over a decade, leaving a deep scar on the nation's psyche and resulting in the loss of hundreds of thousands of lives. However, even in these dark times, the spirit of resilience never waned. The Arusha Peace and Reconciliation Agreement, signed in the year 2000, was a critical turning point. It marked the beginning of the end of the Civil War and laid the foundation for a power-sharing government, aiming to heal the ethnic divide. In the 2 decades since the peace agreement, Burundi has made significant strides. The political landscape has seen a shift with the introduction of democratic processes. While it's true that these processes have often been fraught with challenges and accusations of corruption, it's important to remember that democracy, like any other system, takes time to mature and stabilize. On the social front, the country has made progress in the pursuit of reconciliation and unity. community-driven initiatives have played a key role in mending the social fabric torn apart by ethnic conflicts. Economically, Burundi remains one of the world's poorest countries, yet it's showing signs of growth, particularly in sectors like agriculture, which is the backbone of the Burundian economy. Efforts are being made to diversify the economy and reduce the nation's dependence on foreign aid. Despite its turbulent history, Burundi's story is one of resilience, a nation striving to heal and grow. It's a story of a country that, despite its challenges, continues to move forward, driven by the indomitable spirit of its people. It's a story that is still being written, and one that we will continue to watch with keen interest.